So tonight I want to address old fighters. These are the legends of yesteryear, well respected, paved the way for all the fighters we have now in the UFC, and they should be praised for that. More specifically, Tony Ferguson, Tyron Woodley, Jorge Masvidal, and Nick Diaz. These again are legends, but while the fans glorify them, and rightfully so, they've done so much for the sport. We have to be careful of glorifying them to the point of them damaging themselves, taking off years that they could have in life later on. I know it's their lives, they're their own people, not trying to control, but kind of just offer some insight, some light, some advice, some support. It's just, I'll start off with Tony Ferguson. We've all seen Tony crash and burn time after time now. I'm pretty sure the UFC is not going to give him any more fights. He's still obviously talked about fighting. He's made a bunch of posts about him training for something in the future. I, for one, think he's going to fight Jake Paul. I was actually one of the first ones to say he's going to fight Jake Paul. I really think he's going to be fighting Jake Paul. And that's what he should do. Fight Jake Paul and retire. I think he should just straight up retire, but he's really so hungry for another fight, so he might as well just fight Jake Paul. But you see what he's doing to himself. There comes a time where you just got to drop the gloves, man. It hurts because we're such big fans. It hurts to see you just come back in that octagon and not look remotely capable as you were years ago, and I mean, who did Tony just recently fight? Michael Chiesa. Like the Tony Ferguson Michael Chiesa fight was a prime example of that. It's just incredibly hard to watch. I mean, yeah, it's just I don't know what to really say about it. It's just so it's so hurtful. It's so hurtful to the fans, and it must be hurtful to them, to the fighters, even though they don't show it. But yeah, I wanted to start off with Tony, and then let me just segue into the three other guys I want to talk about, which are again Jorge Masvidal, Tyron Woodley, and Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is coming back to fight Vicente Luque. I'll make a video on that fight soon. I just want to do some more research, even though I do have Vicente winning, just purely based off of age. But while it is nostalgic and fun to see these guys back in the octagon, we have to be fully prepared for the fact that they're definitely not going to look the fucking same at all. I mean, look at Wonder Boy at this last card. Love Wonder Boy. Love him, love him, love him. A huge fan. Again, one of the all-time greats. He looked, I mean, he was sharp, but was he really? Was the cardio hitting? Was he that powerful at time? I mean, and besides all that, he's taken on more damage at his age. What is he, 40, 41? And he's just taken on more damage. The guy got knocked clean out last weekend by I'm blanking at his name now. Joaquin Buckley. Got fucking flatlined by Joaquin Buckley, man. I think at that point it's time to look at your career and maybe just drop the gloves, I know it's not easy, and I'm not a UFC fighter. I can't, begin to kind of understand what the fighters are personally going through. But as a fan, as a guy that's been watching for a long time now, we can see it, man. We can see the damage you're taking on. It's time to kind of just take a step back, let the new guys come in, and you'll always forever be praised. But that goes to my next point. Tyron Woodley was just interviewed and said that he wants to make a comeback. Jorge Masvidal has recently said that he wants to make a comeback, even though he retired, but he said that, he may come back. I don't know. So those two are coming back. And of course, again, we have Nick Diaz coming back. Again, these are greats, done amazing things for the sport, but just fully be prepared for an old man to come in the octagon. For all three of them. All three old men to come back in that octagon, not looking the same against a fresh, younger fighter. You know, we can't all age like Jim Miller. We can't all age like fucking Yoel Romero. Okay, some of us. I mean, that's just the way. That's just how time it is. It's very depressing. This isn't meant to be a totally uplifting video. This is really just meant to be like a refresher, like a splash of water on the face to get you guys prepared for what you're gonna see, which is old men stepping in the octagon and, quite frankly, not looking the same as they once were. Now, of course, there could be the potential. There is always a chance that they could come in there and be fully conditioned and look like they've never left and look like, you know, they're still their younger selves. But I feel like it's so damn slim. I mean, you got Masvidal coming at. I bet he's gonna come back in at welterweight. And you look at the welterweight fighters who are fighting now. I mean, come on, man. I guess if you give these guys cans, then they can come back and do something. But if they're going against the young, new competition, all three of these guys coming in against some young, new competition. Vicente Luque isn't that young, and he's fighting Nick Diaz. But compared to Nick Diaz, the guy's young. Vicente is what, like 33, 34? Nick Diaz is 41, 40. I think so. Let me just check that real quick. Yeah, 41. All these guys, these legends, these greats are now in their 40s. And while 40 isn't old, it's not terribly old. 40 is old for the fight game. We all got to understand that. 40 is old for the fight game. You got these young, late 20s, early 30s guys who are reaching their primes, if not in their primes, going against older men. And as you get older, the power leaves you. And, you know, I guess you got a little bit of durability left, but you're only just taking years off your life. That's really it. Again, unless you're Jim Miller or Yoel Romero. All right? So that's I mean, for this video, it's just really a warning, just to get you guys prepared, because I know a lot of Wonder Boy fans weren't prepared for what they saw last weekend, but that's just what it is. So you got three older UFC legends. Again, they're legends, well respected and should be respected, but they're coming back, and it's dangerous, and I wouldn't recommend it, but it's their life. Just got to prepare the fans for what they're about to see, which is something that they're not going to like to see. And that's really it. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, share, subscribe. I love y'all. See y'all in the next.